Have you ever stopped, even for a second, and felt like you were watching your own life? Have you ever noticed that you have a voice in your head that tells you stories all the time? It talks, comments, judges, worries, and dreams all the time, from the time you wake up until you go to sleep. Most likely, you've always thought that this voice is you without questioning it, that the thoughts it has are yours, that its story is yours. You've thought that this narrator is the most important part of who you are. But I'm here to tell you something today, a truth that is so simple but so profound that it can change the way you see the world. When your heart really gets this, you'll never forget it. This one recognition could be the key to a level of freedom you never thought possible. Now, I'd like you to do something gentle. Pay attention to what you're thinking for a moment. Do not try to change it or shut it down. That's not the point. Not do anything, just let your thoughts flow through your mind. Take note of how they seem to appear out of nowhere, without you ever choosing to make them. You didn't mean for that last thought to come to mind. It just popped into your awareness, fully formed. Now here's the question that will slowly break down the whole lie you've been believing. Could someone or something else have made you think that thought if you didn't choose to? Where did it really come from? Most people will go through their whole lives without ever asking this deep, life-changing question. When they have a thought, they immediately connect their identity to it. Someone has a sad thought and says, "I am sad." A failure thought comes up, and they think, "I am a failure." But what if we all got this wrong? Neuroscientists have found something that spiritual traditions have talked about for thousands of years. It's been a secret passed down through the years. Your brain has been working on a thought for about 300 to 500 milliseconds before you become aware of it. It's not so much that you think your thoughts as that you receive them. The audience is you, the awareness that sees them after they've been put together by deep, unconscious processes that you can't directly change. There is more to this than just a nice spiritual idea or a philosophical argument. This is science that can be measured and checked. In the 1980s, a groundbreaking scientist named Benjamin Libet did experiments that showed this to be true in a shocking way. According to his research, our conscious awareness of a decision to act occurs after our brain has already sent the signals to start that action. You often make up stories about things that happened after the fact to explain things that happened before your conscious I was even aware of them. These stories are what you think of as your personal choice, your unique thought, or your firm decision. Please feel the warmth of that thought rising in your heart. You have been calling the voice in your head I for a long time, but it is not the author. It's more like a person reading a script that comes from the huge, unseen library of your unconscious mind. And this is where understanding turns into a love revolution that changes the way you live your life. As long as you think each thought is your own, they all have a huge amount of power over you. Every thought that goes through your mind carries the weight of who you are. When you think of something scary, you instantly become afraid. That is, when an angry thought comes up, you become angry too. If a negative thought about your worth comes up, you take it as the end of your possibilities. When you gently realize that your thoughts are not who you are, that they are just events happening in your mind, like beautiful, different clouds moving through a big, open sky, then everything changes. Something very important changes. Your thoughts no longer control and pull you like a puppet. Instead, you become a wise and calm viewer of the show, and your reality, which has always been a reflection of how deeply you are attached to these thought patterns, starts to show you something much deeper and more real. In the middle of all the noise, there was always a steady, quiet presence that it starts to respond to. I'd like to ask you to do something with me right now. You shouldn't believe this theory. You should have this experience for yourself. You can get a real taste of the freedom I'm talking about with this easy hack. Please try your best not to think for the next 60 seconds. That's all. Set a quiet timer for 1 minute after you finish this sentence, and make a soft intention to have no thoughts at all. Just being aware in silence. Don't think. Before you go on, go ahead and try it out. In that minute, what did happen? If you are being honest and kind to yourself, you will have noticed that thoughts kept coming up even though you knew you didn't want them. You may have had a few precious seconds of peace and quiet, but then, out of the blue, a thought about what you need to do later today came to you. It could have been a memory from your childhood, or even a negative thought about this exercise. The thoughts came to you without you asking them to, without your conscious control. This beautiful and easy experiment shows something very important. It's not possible to be the source of thoughts if you can't consciously choose whether they show up or not. There needs to be a break. You are not your thoughts. You are the loving awareness that the thoughts come into and go out of. At first, this difference may not seem important, but it's the difference between being locked up in your own mental patterns and being freed from them. It's what makes the difference between pain and peace. Here's the real-world, life-changing use of this that most people miss. As soon as you understand that your thoughts are not you, you can stop arguing with them. It's likely that your relationship with your mind is very hard and complicated right now. You fight against some thoughts, believe others, try to hide some thoughts, and feel very guilty or ashamed about some thoughts. You fight it all the time because you think of each thought as if it were you, telling you the truth about yourself and the world. But what if your thoughts are more like a radio station that plays softly in the background all the time? It plays a beautiful song that you love sometimes. Sometimes it just plays static or a scary news report. Fear, limits, and self-doubt are sometimes talked about on the broadcast. The radio doesn't make you who you are. Being aware of the radio is what you are. You are the place where the sound comes from that is quiet. You can also choose not to get caught up in a song you don't like without destroying the radio. Similarly, you can let your thoughts go by without identifying with what they say. You don't need to believe them. You don't need to fight them. They can play on their own. Feel free to do this easy exercise every morning for 7 days. It will only take 5 minutes. Sit down somewhere comfortable, close your eyes, and just watch your thoughts go by. As soon as a thought comes to mind, gently label it in your mind. Not with any judgment, but with a simple, accurate description, like a planning thought, memory thought, worrying thought, fantasy thought, or judging thought. It's important not to get caught up in the story or the thought itself. Don't go down the rabbit hole that the thought takes you down. Just call it what it is, accept it, and let it go like a cloud. Between you and your thoughts, you will start to feel like there is more space. This might happen by day 3 or 4. You won't just think that you are not the thoughts. You will feel it. You are the open, calm awareness that can watch thoughts come and go without getting in the way. This makes something neuroscientists call metacognitive awareness. It's a beautiful skill to be able to think about your thoughts and watch your mental processes from a loving, objective point of view, one that is not involved with them. Because you are no longer broadcasting the chaotic, frightful frequency of unconscious identification with every thought, your reality starts to respond to you in a new and amazing way once your metacognitive awareness becomes more stable. You're starting to broadcast the tranquility of your true self. This first step of recognizing is the most important one. That's when the chains start to come off. If you can feel this change, this new space between you and your thoughts, I want you to hold on to it right now. This is more than just listening. It's making something new. Write one strong word in the comments below. Observer. You are making a conscious anchor in your reality by typing this one word. You are telling yourself and the universe that you are changing from being the thought to being the one who watches the thought. Join the group of people who are also taking steps toward freedom right now. At this point, you may feel that your thoughts are not really yours. Let's dig a little deeper and find out where they come from. Because once you can lovingly follow your thoughts to where they came from, you have the amazing power to change the kinds of thoughts that come up for you. And when you change the thoughts you have all the time, you change the world you live in. Your beautiful brain works a lot like a machine that makes predictions. It is always trying to keep you safe by guessing what will happen next, based on what has already happened. No matter how happy or sad you were, every experience you've ever had is stored in your neural networks. These are like complex pattern recognition systems that go off on their own whenever something similar happens in your life. These deeply ingrained patterns make you think about things that seem to be about the present, but are really just replays of old fears, beliefs, and ways of understanding things from the past. This is the reason why you keep having the same thoughts. That's why you feel like you're stuck in some patterns. You can't say that these thoughts are new and original responses to new situations. They are automated programs that keep running over and over again, and you have been identifying with them as if they were your real, in-the-moment responses to life. Let me give you a kind and clear example. Let's say you know that the conversation you are about to have will be hard. A stream of thoughts starts to show up in your mind long before the conversation even starts. This is going to be so uncomfortable. They're not going to listen to me. What if they get angry? I should rehearse what I'm going to say so I don't mess it up. It feels like these thoughts are you, getting ready for a tough time in a smart way. But here's what's really going on below the surface. Your brain is looking through a library of memories of all the tough conversations you've ever had. It is taking the emotional patterns from those past events and using them to make predictions about this conversation that is about to happen. Your thoughts aren't really responding to what's going on around you or the person you're looking at. They are playing back the past and seeing how it will affect your future. And because you believe these thoughts to be you and true, you come into that conversation already on a frequency of problems from the past. Before anyone says a word, your nervous system is already in fight or flight mode. Unconsciously, your body language broadcasts your anxiety or defensiveness. Without them even realizing it, this frequency gets picked up by the other person's nervous system, which then responds in kind. This seems to confirm the very thoughts that started the whole cycle. You have unintentionally made your own worst fears come true by identifying with thoughts that were never about the present moment. They were just old sounds. Here's a lovely way to end this spell. You can do this gentle practice whenever you notice a pattern of thoughts that keeps coming back to you for the next 14 days. This is especially helpful if the pattern makes you feel strong emotions like sadness, anxiety, or anger. Take a moment. Take a slow, deep breath in and out. Hold that thought with loving curiosity like you would a flower. Ask your thought, "My dear thought, When was the first time I can remember feeling this way, with kindness? When was the first time I was sure I said these things to myself? Don't try to force an answer or think about it for a long time. Hold the question in the empty space of your mind and let your heart's memory, which is deeper, answer when it's ready. Give yourself some time. You will probably be able to connect the thought to a tender moment in your life, most likely from when you were a child or teen. It could be a time when something happened that made you believe something important about the world or yourself, like that you are safe, worthy, or able to be loved. It could be a time when you felt stupid in front of your friends, like your parents didn't understand you, or like you were different from your siblings. The thought you're having right now as an adult is not really about what you're going through. It's an echo from that event in the past, playing over and over again in the new circumstances of your present. It's like an old radio song that got stuck on repeat for a long time. You can do something truly revolutionary once you figure out where the echo is coming from. You can finally see, with a lot of empathy for the younger you who felt that pain for the first time, that this thought is not a good response to what is happening now. There is only an echo from the past. What kind of power does an echo really have? It is empty and has no reality of its own. The sound is only powerful if you believe it is the sound of the present. For this practice, I think you should make a small, holy journal. Write down what you find when you make it. The thought, "I am not good enough to succeed," comes from a memory of being compared to my older brother in school when I was 8 years old. I can see now that this thought isn't about what I can do right now. I'm just hearing an old recording in my head. By being compassionately aware and seeing the thought for what it is, you start to lose its power over you. You are no longer identifying with it as your real, present truth. You know that the programming is out of date. Also, my dear friend, any old software can be updated with care and kindness. You are not stuck in your past. You are the only one who can free it by shining the light of your present awareness on it. Link this beautiful work you're doing inside to how your outside world reacts. To make real changes, we need to understand. Your inner world starts to show up in the outside world as a new masterpiece. An electromagnetic frequency is made by your thoughts, even if they are not yours. Into your local energy field, your nervous system broadcasts this frequency. Not magic or wishful thinking, but facts. HeartMath Institute, a cutting-edge research group, measured the electromagnetic field of your heart. This strong field in the shape of a donut goes out several feet from you and in all directions. This field moves information around. It tells everyone around you your feelings, beliefs, and sense of what makes sense. People's nervous systems, animals, and even the zero-point field, which quantum physicists call reality's energetic fabric, are always able to read your energy signature. Picture your body playing music all the time. If you unconsciously identify with all of your thoughts as you, your electromagnetic field broadcasts the frequency of those thoughts. Your body sings. If you are thinking about scary things and think you are your anxiety, your field broadcasts a frantic, dissonant melody of worry. Your field broadcasts a heavy, contracted frequency of limitation if you think that negative thoughts limit your potential. The frequency you broadcast determines how your reality, a responsive, intelligent field you are a part of, organizes itself. It goes with your music. When good people use techniques like visualizations, affirmations, and so on, they can still get stuck in frustrating patterns, even though they work really hard at them. For a few minutes each day, they try to consciously broadcast a new, positive frequency. The rest of the time, their unconscious, moment-to-moment identification With old, limiting thought patterns, broadcasts a stronger, more dominant, and contradictory signal. Their new song can't be heard because of the music that plays in the background. That which takes place when you stop identifying with your thoughts. There is a miracle. Your electromagnetic broadcast is no longer dominated by mental chaotic static. Instead, you give off energy from inside you. The quiet, empty stillness before thought comes from your awareness. Thought-based frequencies are not coherent, stable, or magnetic like pure awareness's frequency is. Take a look at this. Identifying with your thoughts is like sending a clear message from a radio tower while there is a lot of lightning going off nearby. Signal changes, breaks up, and is messed up by noise. But being aware while resting is like broadcasting from a strong, calm lighthouse on a still night. The beam is steady and clear. It stays the same no matter what you think or the weather. It turns into a lighthouse. This practice helps you move from having fleeting thoughts to being aware of who you are all the time. If you do that, your electromagnetic broadcast will go from being chaotic to being harmonious. Please work on this for 10 minutes every morning and night. Take a break and relax. Close your eyes slowly and sit down comfortably. Take 3 slow, deep breaths, letting go of tension with each one. Get your breathing back to how it normally is. Don't try to silence or ignore your thoughts. Just be aware of them. There is a thought that is noticed. The difference is small but important. Move your loving attention from the thought to the awareness that is observing. Ask yourself gently, what does it mean to be aware of my thoughts? Where is it? What does it feel like? This awareness isn't limited to one place. You can't just use your mind or body. It's like a big, open, and calm presence that holds your thoughts, feelings, and sensations. In this awareness, calm down. Try not to try to understand it. Just feel it. It's okay that thoughts will keep coming back. They're right. Think of each thought as a gentle reminder. Take note of your awareness, and then gently bring it back to you. When you show compassion, you train your nervous system to live in this calm awareness instead of your busy mind. Open your eyes slowly after 10 minutes. But here's the important part that will change your life that most people miss. Throughout the day, try to keep that sense of space. Listen to what other people are saying when you talk. When you eat, pay attention to how things taste and feel. When worried or anxious thoughts come up, be aware of them without becoming them. In turn, this creates awareness momentum. The more you practice seeing yourself as this calm, empty awareness, instead of the thoughts that go through it, the more your electromagnetic field will broadcast from that calm, clear space. After this clear and harmonious broadcast, reality will respond with synchronicities, chances, and experiences filled with grace that weren't there when you broadcast from unconscious thought identification. The universe dances with you as you change your song because it loves you no matter what. Now is the time when knowing something turns into power. You are a broadcaster of frequency in addition to being a receiver of thoughts. If you believe this to be true and are ready to change the signal you are sending, I want you to make a name for yourself. To make this deep intention stick, type 2 simple words in the comments right now. Ready for use. It's not just for an algorithm, it's a strong command. You are telling the quantum field, the time for my old broadcast of static and limitation is over. I've decided to broadcast from the clarity of my true, peaceful self. Draw a line in the sand here. Here, our journey together gets even deeper and more paradigm-shifting. In the way you think, most thoughts are not yours. In fact, many of them are not even made by your brain or history. There is an ocean of shared consciousness that you are always connecting to. Most of us don't know this. Does anyone else notice how certain ideas and emotions seem to take over society at certain times? Huge groups of people all of a sudden have the same worries, wants, or interests. It's not a coincidence at all. We can tune into huge fields of shared consciousness, like radios, and think that the broadcasts are our own. Amazing proof that there is a collective consciousness has been found by researchers. As an example, the Global Consciousness Project has put random number generators all over the world. Standard probability says that these devices should come up with random numbers, like a digital coin flip. These random generators do not work at random during major global events, like natural disasters, global celebrations, and terrorist attacks. Instead, they show statistically significant patterns that are not random. The unified focus of human consciousness seems to change reality at the quantum level. This strongly suggests that our minds are not locked up inside our skulls. We are like different receivers with different tunings that are all connected in a huge field of consciousness. This field has thought patterns, cultural beliefs, and emotional frequencies that apply to the whole population. Check this with your own experience. Pay close attention to your thoughts over the next few days. Keep track of how many are about things you're not going through. If you read about the world economy online, you might be scared. You might be worried about things going on in the world that are far away. People who aren't well known to you may have strong feelings about them. What made you think and feel this way? They didn't come from your senses. You took them from the field of shared ideas and made them your own, like the majority of us. Realizing this can be both scary and freeing. Realizing that you don't have much control over your mind stream can be scary. It also frees you deeply. You can choose which ones to listen to and which ones to ignore in a loving way once you realize you're always connecting with these groups of thoughts. You know what your choices are. On your mental radio, you don't have to listen to every group broadcast. As a gentle evening ritual, try it for 21 days. Spend 10 minutes before bed with a journal and read over your day's thoughts with kindness. There will be 3 simple groups. My first thoughts are about my senses. These thoughts come from what your body is feeling right now. This tea is warm and comforting. I am feeling a little tired. That bird's song is so beautiful. These are real thoughts. My story thoughts comes in second. These thoughts come from your past, your memories, and how you were raised. These are the patterns of repetition we talked about earlier. Your past shows up in the present. They show what you've done. World thoughts is the third group. Your thoughts about the collective field are about things you are not going through. You heard about these worries about the future from a friend, saw them on the news, or came across them while scrolling through social media. You picked up these beliefs about life from your culture or society without realizing it. Your evening thoughts are likely to surprise you as you carefully put them into groups. Thoughts from the world, the third group, may make up 60–80% of your daily thoughts. You have been thinking and feeling things that aren't related to your real life, your senses, or how you feel right now. When you look at this with compassion and clarity, you can make a choice that will change the world. You can leave these group thoughts with care. You can accept a thought, worry, or opinion from the collective field as it is and move on with your day. There's no need to fight or stop it. Just say to yourself, this is a thought from the world. And let it go by like a boat on the water. Just doing this can cut the noise in your mind by more than half, letting your beautiful, clear signal shine through. Stop making everyone else's fears and limitations louder. and instead broadcast from the peace of your own experience and the stillness of your awareness. Your electromagnetic broadcast will become much clearer. Let us show you how your daily life changes when you stop identifying with your thoughts. It's great to find inner peace and spiritual awakening, but this is more than that. This means making big changes to how you live your life. It's not a fixed, objective structure that is separate from you. Reality is a mirror that you can change. At the subatomic level, quantum physics has shown that what we see changes what happens. Based on how scientists find particles, they either act like particles or waves. Most people don't know that this idea can be used in places other than labs. This responsive dance between thought and matter happens all the time, even in your everyday life. When you become one with your thoughts, you see the world through them. When someone says, "Relationships are always so hard," they are literally looking at their life through a difficulty filter. Reality sets itself up to match what you see, like a perfect and loving mirror. You will see all of your relationship problems. Your subconscious will bring you partners and situations that support what you believe. Normal, neutral things will seem like proof of what you already believe. Watch what happens, though, when you stop identifying with that thought. You might still think, "Relationships are always so hard." The echo might be old and well-known. You now understand it was only a thought, not always true, not the truth. Making use of an old program. When you realize it, you stop seeing reality through that skewed lens. You might be aware of the thought, but not really believe it. The frequency you use for operation is not being broadcast. In this beautiful space of not being different, you can see reality more clearly because your thought-based filters are gone. It's like seeing the world all your life through a dirty window and thinking it's dirty and dark. The act of cleaning the window is a sign of love, not political opinion. You find that reality has always been more open, responsive, and full of light and possibility than your thoughts had led you to believe. I'm going to show you this loving magic. For years, imagine being linked to the phrase, "Money is scarce and hard to make." This thought makes an observation filter that brings out evidence that supports what you're saying. People around you work long hours for little pay. It's easy to see every missed chance. Money is always giving you trouble. You don't mean to make people feel stressed. You are linked to a way of thinking that limits what is real. That's how this responsive universe works. Reality, your mirror, sets itself up to match what you see. Listen to what happens when you stop identifying with that thought slowly. It makes me think of the phrase, "Money is scarce and hard to make." You gently agree with it instead of believing it. You know it's just a thought, a pattern you may have gotten from your parents or from the struggle of many people. It can be seen, but it's not the truth. From this unnamed place, you no longer look at life through the lens of lack. You suddenly see things about reality that you hadn't seen before. You now see a chance you didn't see before, that your old lens missed. Something that happened to you at the same time that you thought was just a coincidence now feels like a cosmic wink. It becomes clear that action is inspired, joyful, and aligned. Before, only struggle and force were clear. Not the same positive thinking. You're not making yourself believe there is lots of money and it's easy to make it. Your move is stronger. Giving up both good and bad thoughts lets you see reality from the clear, open space of awareness, which doesn't have any ideas about how money or anything else works already formed. You're not telling yourself any old stories, so reality can show you its magic. You will be able to see, measure, and be sure that reality changes when you stop identifying with your thoughts after 30 days. This journal will be a holy record of what you know. This is the way to do it. Week 1, start of the documentation. Write down 3 of the thoughts that came to mind most often during the day, preferably ones that were about problems, limits, or the truth. Don't try to change them or judge them. Just record them in a loving, neutral way. In your journal, write down 3 things that happened that day that relate to the things that are on your mind. Write down 3 connections or disconnections from that day if you keep thinking about being alone. Week 2 of pattern recognition. Start this week by going over the paperwork from last week. Find small ways that your recurring thoughts are connected to other parts of your life. Organizing your reality around your main thought patterns is likely to be very clear. People don't really see me was a thought that was likely followed by a number of ignored feelings. Many people who said, "Good things don't happen to me," missed out on chances, or felt like they didn't have enough. Don't judge your focus. Instead, praise it. Week 3. Practice not identifying yourself. Practice starts now. This week, when you have a thought that keeps coming back, say to yourself, "That's just a thought. Okay, I see. I don't have to fight it or believe it. A thought comes to my mind." Just that. Don't try to change or make the thought better. Think of it as a cloud that will pass, and let it go. Record your day the same way you did before. Week 4. Make a change. Your life will be different by week 4 if you have been practicing non-identification with honesty and kindness. In areas where you had recurring negative thoughts that held you back, results will change. You stopped filtering your reality through limiting thought patterns and didn't try to force anything. This let the universe's natural responses form around a more open and clear observation. Give specific examples of how things changed for you. Describe it. In the first week, I felt unheard 4 times and thought 10 times, "People don't listen to me." There were only 6 thoughts in week 4, and I practiced not identifying with them. That week, there were 3 wonderful times when I really felt heard and understood. This journal is proof that reality reacts to how you think about it, not your thoughts themselves. This is where you can feel the magic. You are not a victim of a fixed reality. You are the conscious observer who is lovingly creating a new reality by clearing your lens of perception. This is your chance to say that you are ready to stop letting old thoughts shape your reality and instead welcome the reflection of your true, clear awareness. Write this strong affirmation in the comments section below. I am ready for the new me. The universe has been told about these words. Your bold choice to open your heart to the coincidences, chances, and grace that have been waiting for you the whole time is a statement that you are no longer interested in the old patterns. Everything I've said leads to this life-changing question. Why are you who you are if your thoughts have made you who you are? Who are you really? This question is not an abstract philosophical idea that needs to be argued about. You need to ask this question because your you identity determines the frequency you broadcast, which in turn determines your reality. Most people get their whole sense of who they are from their thoughts. I am an anxious person is just a thought that you have believed and identified with so many times that it feels like a solid fact about who you are. It's become who I am that the thought I'm not good with money, I am unlucky in love, is a painful thought-based identity. When you lovingly stop identifying with your thoughts, identity structures become less solid and break down. Yes, this can be confusing or scary at first because you've been using these structures to find your way around, even if they made it hard for you. It might feel weird to be seen at first, like letting go of a heavy, uncomfortable coat you've worn all your life. But something more real, strong, and true to you will take the place of that old, thought-based identity. You learn that your thoughts are not who you really are. Being aware is who you really are. Being aware of any thought, feeling, sensation, or experience without being affected by it or defined by it is what you are. Everything else is weather, but you are the sky. A different frequency is broadcast by awareness-based identity than by thought-based identity. Thought-based identities are always looking for new experiences to compare, prove, and seek. It needs constant confirmation from the real world to feel real, important, and deserving of love. This sends out a strong but subtle frequency of neediness and desperation, not enough, which actually pushes away what you're trying to bring in. An awareness-based identity doesn't need reality because it knows it's whole. It doesn't try to become anything because it knows it is the calm, unchanging space where everything changes. This creates a frequency of enough, of wholeness, of an innate okayness that can't be shaken. This frequency slowly brings in experiences that are in line with its broadcasting of lack or need. It is broadcast the beautiful, silent I am, a holy trip back to yourself. Your heart is ready if you did the last exercises. This plan will help you move your center of gravity from thought to awareness in a way that is real, deep, and healing. Step 1. Make a list of your identities, 1 to 7 days. You say or think things like, I am. Write them down on paper. Write at least 20 of these things down. I am shy. I am creative. I am struggling with my health. I am looking for my purpose. I am not a morning person. Be kind and honest. Your current identity is built on the sand of your thoughts. Second step, look into the source, 8 to 14 days. Keep each I am statement close to your heart. Ask it gently. Is this what I truly am? Or is this a thought I am having about what I am? Feel the huge difference between what you are and what you think you are. I am an anxious person is a clear and strong sentence. While I am observing anxious thoughts and feelings moving through me, makes room for freedom, lightness, and thought. Switch each of your identity statements to a gentle observation statement. I am struggling financially turns into, I am observing thoughts and feelings of financial struggle. The third step is to recognize their presence. 15:21. Do this easy question every day. For 15 minutes, be still and ask your heart, what am I if not my thoughts? What's left when the stories are over? Do not use your brain to answer. Put your thoughts aside and pay attention to the here and now. It will be clear that you are aware. You just sit there and watch your thoughts, feelings, sensations, and the world around you. This is where you live. Take 15 minutes every day to relax in this recognition. Stage 4. Being aware and living as such, 10:22. You are now practicing how to use what you've learned in real life. Instead of your old thought identity, try living from this awareness identity. To answer a friend's question about your health, try saying something from your awareness identity instead of a thought-based identity, like, I'm so stressed about work. Tell me, from this quiet, spacious place, what action feels most aligned and true? This holy rule doesn't change who you are or turn you into a spiritual being without a soul. You break free from the chains of a false identity. You become more fluid, responsive, spontaneous, and real than ever, because you don't have to spend your life energy protecting and making up an identity that was never real. Going back home. Everything we've looked into together points to this beautiful combination. Your thoughts have no effect on the real world. Reality doesn't react to stopping your thoughts. Reality responds to your awareness of observing life. Do not think of your thoughts as you. That quality changes from disorganized to organized, and from closed to open. Because of this, some people can meditate in a cave for decades and nothing will change in their outside world, while for others, things can change dramatically after just a few weeks. Not how many hours you sit alone. It's important to ask yourself if you have really changed your daily focus from identifying thoughts to recognizing awareness. You might have more spiritual and quiet thoughts about how peaceful you are becoming after sitting on a meditation cushion for hours. You broadcast a different frequency that reality responds to right away, and miraculously, if you can live your daily life from your awareness identity, even for 5 minutes. So you can see it, I'll show you what this change looks like in your beautiful, messy, useful life. Thought identification leads to relationships in which you constantly try to control how the other person sees you, where conflict feels like an attack on your identity, and where you need the relationship to prove that you are worthy. Being fully present with someone without needing anything from them is possible when you have awareness identity. It turns disagreements into feelings, thoughts, and energies that don't define you or the relationship. There is true, natural heart-to-heart connection. It feels like work is always a value test when you think about identifying your thoughts. It stops you from being creative and makes you feel like a failure. You need other people's success to prove your worth. Being aware of your identity lets you work and make things without putting your worth in the outcome. It lets you be gently curious instead of reacting with panic when you run into creative blocks. Instead of defining who you are, success and failure become chances to learn and grow. Health. Thought identification makes you feel stressed all the time because it makes you think about what's wrong with me every time you hurt or ache. Every symptom makes you less of a healthy person. Awareness identity calms your nervous system because it lets you feel things without making up scary stories about them. This makes your body's natural ability to heal and regulate even smarter. Money worries. Because money is linked to self-worth through thought identification, money worries never go away. Identity is a big part of every deal. Being aware of your identity lets money be both energy and a tool. Now that it doesn't have to prove your worth, it can flow through your life more freely and happily. The pattern shows up in every part of your life. When you identify with your thoughts, reality has to fit your thought-based identity. This makes you resist, struggle, and feel like you're stuck. When you are aware, those limits on reality fall away. It can now organize around the coherent, open, and limitless frequency of your true nature. This last practice turns everything we've talked about into a daily routine that will help you keep the beautiful shift into your awareness identity. I think you should do this every morning for 20 minutes. Recognition of awareness, minutes 1-5. Sit comfortably and be aware that you are aware. You don't need to think about awareness. Pay attention to the quiet, awake person who is hearing these words. Your home base. Take a break now. Come on in. Thought observation. From minutes 6 to 10. Feel free to think of anything. Don't hold them back. Be aware of them and watch them without getting on a thought train and leaving the station. You could give them gentle names like planning, worrying, or remembering. Take note of the empty space between your thoughts. You are the space. Minutes 11 through 15. Observation of sensations. Focus slowly on how your body feels. In your awareness, warmth, tingling, and pressure come and go like thoughts. Feel these things without thinking about them or judging them. Pure awareness observing how things feel. Minutes 16 to 20. How the day went. Think about what the day will be like from this deep awareness identity instead of your thinking mind. You don't need to picture your goals. It needs you to listen. Feel what actions, conversations, and creative ideas want to come up from this open, calm awareness. What do you want to do today? Not what you think should happen, but what you really want to happen. As much as possible, go about your day with this in mind. It is normal and human to fall back into thought identification from time to time. When you do, smile and don't judge yourself. Instead of beating yourself up when you fail, use it as a chance to practice remembering who you are and bring your sense of self back to the open, quiet space of awareness. That one word that changes everything. We've talked about a lot of things together, my dear friend, but it all comes down to one simple, deep truth that you can check for yourself right now. Thoughts are not who you are. You see them. Your awareness breaks them down. Your true self is a big, quiet, loving awareness that doesn't care about anything else. You don't have to believe this. You shouldn't try to remember this philosophy. You can get this recognition right away. These words are being read by you. Being aware of that isn't thought. This is where your thoughts show up. Your timeless, unchanging essence is what's really there, beneath all of your thoughts, beliefs, and stories about who you are. When you stop giving your thoughts power and live from this awareness, your reality responds to the beautiful, coherent frequency of awareness, instead of the scary, disorganized frequency of thought identification. More coincidences happen. Chances seem to appear out of nowhere. You can easily get resources. You stopped filtering your reality through limiting thought patterns that broadcast lack and limitation to the universe, not because you manifested them. Once you understand that your thoughts are not real, your reality can finally show who you are. You are a vast, creative, intelligent, and coherent consciousness that is miraculously and temporarily experiencing itself in this beautiful human form. Everything changes now. Not slowly over years of hard work, but right away when you realize what has always been true. Thoughts are not who you are. You were never that. When you really understand this, everything changes. Now there is only one question left. Will you live from your small, limited identity based on fleeting thoughts? When you get back home, will you see yourself as the peaceful, limitless awareness that all thoughts appear in? Your reality is waiting for you to answer. Your frequency, not your answer, is broadcast by the simple, profound, and loving recognition of who you are. Thoughts are not who you are. It sets you free to know that. This time we spent together is over, but for you, it's just the beginning. I want you to claim your true identity as your last holy act of recognition today. One last time, write the two most powerful words in the world in the comments. I am. Don't put anything before or after them. Just those two words. This isn't a thought. Being itself is what it says. It's the frequency of being aware. By typing it, you connect with the deep truth of who you have always been. And you join a group of souls around the world who are also remembering who they really are. Thanks for coming home.